What's up, Coronators? It is Wednesday, April 1st, and April Fool's Day is officially banned this year, at least as far as I'm concerned. Instead of doing pranks, I'm trying to interview all of the creatives that I can get a hold of to find out how they are handling this economic shutdown and quarantine. And today I'm speaking with Gus Constantellis, who is a stand-up comedian here in New York City, as well as a film and television writer. And he has been producing daily videos about his experience in quarantine, which are absolutely hilarious. You should definitely check him out. His handle on social media is Constantly Gus on all the channels. And he recently had a hilarious tweet go viral and end up on the front page of Reddit and Upworthy and many other websites. And when I saw how well he's handling quarantine and staying productive and putting out awesome content, I knew I had to have a conversation with him. So please, without further ado, welcome Gus Constantellis, otherwise known as Constantly Gus. Gus, good morning. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I came across your tweet. I couldn't help but notice. I'm like, that's Gus. I know that guy. That's Gus from New York, the comedian. And you have been...
I remember the first time we met was when I was at $3 Bill, right, at Andy Eganthorpe's show, and I was doing crowd work with you, and I was like, are you gay? Are you gay? You're hot. That was like my whole set that night. That is so funny.
Yeah, so man, you've been really taking advantage of this quarantine to stay productive and keep doing stuff. I've been seeing your videos on Facebook now, and so I've been trying to do this video series where I've been interviewing creatives to try to figure out how different people are coping with, not just, the pandemic, the health crisis, but also the economic crisis, because we tend to be on the front lines of, if the economy's not running, we're not making any money. Whereas a lot of other people can kind of take time off and not worry about it. So I've been trying to talk to a lot of different people to figure out how they're handling it. And I'd love to hear your perspective, because it seems like you have been managing to stay, productive and motivated in a way that not a lot of other people have.
First of all, I think it's totally okay if you're not being productive and you're not being creative. Like, if you're feeling uninspired, just don't do anything. Like, that's okay. Like, it's really a difficult time. And so if you're feeling like depressed or anxious, that's okay. Take the day off, take the week off, and don't feel pressured by other people that are being creative to stay creative. Cause I take days off. Weekends, I don't really work. I'll take a Tuesday. I don't really care. If I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. But when I'm productive, I make sure I stay on, and I make sure I do as much as I possibly can when I'm feeling productive. And when I feel like my productive hours are, because I work from home usually, so I know when I can be productive and when I can't. After 7, I'm I can't think. I can't think about anything.
So you work from home before this pandemic started? Oh, wow.
So I've already been unhinged for a while.
Yeah, I see. You got it down.
Got it down pat, guys. All right. I stick to a really rigid routine. I wake up every morning at the same time. I do this thing called morning pages. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah, of course. Tell us more about it, though.
Morning pages it's this book called The Artist's Way by Juliet Cameron. It's a bit of a culty kind of book, but it worked really well for me, and I still keep up. And the idea of morning pages is to free write 3 pages in any journal, or even in Google Docs or whatever, every morning. Just free write and get all your crap out. And it feels really good. And after a while, you start seeing patterns, and you start kind of unlocking things that you're oh yeah, that is something I do a lot. Or this is something I'm insecure about that I should fix. And it helps and also if you are a writer, because I'm a writer, and so it helps me come up with ideas as I'm doing them. And so it's really good. And you get all the crap out in the morning, and then you don't have to worry the rest of the day.
And it gets your brain moving. It gets the creative process going in a way that you're not trying to produce something. You're just warming up before you go for a run kind of thing. You get your brain warmed up and ready to move for the day. That's awesome. Yeah. So you've already been figuring out the work from home situation. How long have you been working from home now?
About a year.
Wow. Okay. So what started that? What was the reason for that?
So I was working, I was living in LA. I was writing for kids TV out in LA. And then I moved back to New York. And I started slowly picking up little freelance gigs here and there, but I was working an office job at the same time. And the office job it started getting just a bit too, it with stand up, especially because I do stand up at nights, it was just getting too much it was one of those office jobs where they kind of expect you to be there until like 8. And I'm like, I don't really have time to, I don't have time to sit there and look at you, looking at me, looking at you, looking at me, wondering if I could go home just because you may or may not want coffee and I need to go and run and get you coffee. Like, I don't have time for this. Right. So I quit that job because I started picking up more freelance writing gigs and finally quit. And then I've been working from home ever since.
So you're doing freelance work primarily?
Yeah, I do freelance work. I write for a couple shows on Nickelodeon, which just ended right before the break or the quarantine.
Okay.
So it's kind of like bad timing, but it is what it is.
Well, bad timing in the sense that you had you weren't able to pursue new opportunities after those ended, but at the same time, you weren't in the middle of something that all of a sudden, went on pause. So maybe, I guess that could be good or bad from different perspectives. That's really interesting. So you've already been figuring out the work from home situation, and you've been making some videos, comedic videos about, how to, what your advice is on working from home. What would you share, with our audience? What do you think is really the best way to be able to, the thing that I've been hearing is that consistency and developing a rhythm is probably one of the biggest challenges. So how do you do that? In addition to, doing your morning pages in the morning, how do you find you're able to get up on time, go to bed on time, not let your nights drift into your days? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, totally. It's different. It's different now, definitely, because I can't go do stand up. So usually my day is like I write. And then after like 5, I'm off and I do open mics and I do shows. And then I come home at like 12:01 and then wake up at like, 9:30 and then start my day over again. And, and then also like meetings and stuff that I might have. But like now it's like the nighttime is just like, I'm just watching movies and watching TV shows. And like, I go to sleep at like 11 because I'm like, I have nothing to do. I'm not going to stay up. Like, I don't know. I also am not one of those people that stays up till 4 a.m. I just can't do it. I just go to bed. I'm tired. I go to bed. I shut down at a certain time and I take my melatonin and I go. Yeah, I can't do this. So I've been waking up at like 8:30, getting my morning pages in, eating my breakfast, writing, working out right before lunch. And then after lunch, just like writing and trying to like pick a thing that I can do for like 4 hours and focus on that. And then take a little, couple breaks, maybe go for a walk and then, pick something I want to watch at night.
What neighborhood are you in?
I'm in Park Slope. Where are you?
I was in Bushwick. I actually just had to move over the weekend because my lease was up. So now I'm on the upper west side. That was miserable moving on a Sunday in the middle of this crisis. And now I think I have a cough. So I'm like, I don't know if I went and got myself corona, but at least I'm isolated here, so I'm not going to be infecting anyone else. But yeah, not a fun situation. But what's it been like in Park Slope? You've been outside, I assume, gone for walks and things like that. Like everything's shut down, but are people still out?
Everything's pretty shut down in Park Slope. Like even a lot of the restaurants that I order from are all closed. Like I'm sad. Yeah, I'm sad about some of them. I have this banh mi place right next to me that closed down. Mr. Wonton is downstairs. They shut down. My Thai place is shut down. I can't eat anything I want to eat. I'm so mad. They're all shut down. My laundromat just closed today.
What?
So now I can't even clean. I can't even wash my clothes, and I don't know where I can go. Because I walked down 7th Avenue, and then I saw another laundromat was also closing. And then I called my friend, and my friend was like, yeah, my laundromat's also closing. And I was like, are all the laundromats closing? Because this is going to be a problem.
Sounds like a big opportunity for like one laundromat to kind of take up all the business and do like wash and fold and do delivery and all that. There's got to be an opportunity there. That's so funny.
There's definitely got to be a delivery service. I mean, I don't know. My parents are in Brooklyn, so I can go there, but it's not like convenient.
Right. And also you don't really want to be, interacting with people at this time if we can avoid it. Like the more we can limit that.
People are just walking around here. Can I tell you, Park Slope, people are walking around. No one cares. No one gives a fuck. I'm like, have you read the news? What's happening?
Yeah, people aren't taking it seriously.
Yeah, people are not taking it seriously. Prospect Park is packed every day. I go for runs every once in a while. And someone started jogging like fully next to me yesterday. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, what? And I was like, well, I'm not the crazy one here, bro. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've noticed the same thing up here. I've been going to Central Park. I've been going down the West Side Highway. I went down to look at the USS Comfort, the naval ship that just came in, the hospital ship. It's on Pier 88. And there was just tons of people standing around looking at the ship, taking pictures, and cops were there telling people to move along and not to congregate. But there was an article in the New York Post about it yesterday. De Blasio was calling people out. He's like, guys, don't leave your houses to come look at things and all congregate together. So it's, yeah, I mean, people are not getting it. They really aren't. And you know, the number of cases doesn't seem to be hitting home. I think it's really going to take the death count to start rising, and that's going to happen over the next few weeks. So it'll be interesting to see if that changes people's perspectives. But I'm
definitely
curious,
slowed down.
It has. I mean, it's slowed down in the sense that places where you would normally go and congregate are closed. So people are at least outside, which is definitely better. But you know, at the same time, you don't want people going crazy in their homes. But so you said that you were working on the show on Nickelodeon, and that kind of came to an end. How do you give yourself work to do during this time, just to have something to do? Like how are you creating projects for yourself?
Well, I mean, it's like I do the videos. The videos are really nice, and then the videos are fun, and it's keeping me just writing and being creative. And like during my morning pages, I'll start.
How frequently are you doing it?
I used to do like one a week before, and now I'm doing like 2 or 3, just because it's just fun and it's stupid and it's just keeping me like, you know what I mean, in a flow. So it's
nice.
Good. And it's keeping me not looking kind of ratchety, which is good because I got to be on the. But no, it's good.
I keep hearing that from people. Just having a reason to put yourself together can make you feel better about your situation.
Yeah, it's true. It's so true. And yeah, I mean, the videos help. And also just, I've been trying to just sit there and just think of pitches and ideas and scripts and pilots and whatever, talking to a lot of people about like, do you want to collaborate on this? Do you want to collaborate on that? Like, it's just, that's kind of what's keeping me active.
Nice. Are you doing collaborations with people now in quarantine, or is this planning for the future?
But no, collaborations now, just like on scripts that we can just FaceTime and just talk about.
That's awesome. That is so cool. So tell me more about this tweet. How did this come about? Are you just tweeting every day just for fun, just like making up stuff? Did this actually happen, first of all, or is this a story that you made up because you thought it was a hilarious story?
Okay, so first of all, that's funny that you bring that up because...
No, because I saw on Reddit. Did you see on Reddit? It got posted on the subreddit called That Happened, where people make fun of people for tweeting stuff as if it's real when obviously it's not. But all the comments on that post were basically like, this sounds totally like it did happen. So there's been this big conversation with people. Yeah.
That's so, okay. I didn't see that subreddit, but on the subreddit that I posted it on, people started commenting like, this is fake. How dare you? And then people started coming for me because they were like, how dare you post your own tweet? And I was like, why wouldn't I post my own tweet? Like, right. Have you been in the world? What? Right. And then all the comments, yeah. And then I also didn't turn my notifications off for Reddit. So I would just get notifications being like, this is fake. You're a liar. How dare you lie? You just want to be famous. I was like, I literally just to clear the air, it did happen.
Why do people care so much?
Right. Also, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Did it make you laugh? Good, you know.
Well, that's the funny thing, because if like anybody who's gone to stand-up comedy, like not every story that you hear a comedian tell is 100% truth, and that's not the point. They're funny stories, and you tell them as if they're happening to you. Like, people need to loosen up.
And it's also what's her name, Hannah Gadsby, and Annette talks about. She's like, stand-up is not the beginning, middle, and end of a story. Stand-up is the beginning, the middle of a story, because the end is not funny. You write. You know what I mean? It's just like,
right.
You just write what's funny and then you leave the other details of the story out, and that's stand-up.
Right.
Anyway, it did happen though. Also, it's not like the thing that happened was so out of this world crazy that I made it up. It's like a totally normal thing that could have happened.
It was just so funny to me. Like I saw it on Twitter, and then I started seeing it on Reddit, and this thing just went from one place to the next, just started blowing up. And it was like, man, this is so fun to watch, you know, in this time when it's like seeing somebody really take advantage of an opportunity like this, where most people are just like overwhelmed, exhausted, don't know how to handle the crisis. And here you are, you know, creating content that people are seeing far and wide. And it's like boosting your profile at this time when you're taking advantage of the opportunity. I love to see that. What has your experience been with social media during this crisis? Have you found that certain platforms over others are getting more activity now than they were before? Or is it still kind of the same feeling as it was before?
Well, it's so funny because the other thing about that tweet is that it went viral and I got like a follower. Let's just say that. You really like things go viral and like maybe it gets you like 100 followers, but mostly it just like it just one little thing that goes into the atmosphere, really.
Right.
I do find that Instagram engagement has been way up, and TikTok. You got to get on. Everyone's getting on TikTok. The thing is, though, TikTok is fine. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things like if you're hot, you'll do well. If you're not, whatever. I don't know.
Right. Well, TikTok is Instagram definitely. Like it's all about the image, but TikTok requires you to have some personality and some creativity, I feel like, because there's just so much crap on it and people are literally just swipe, 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 swipe. And then the stuff that goes viral, honestly, I feel like is pretty creative stuff.
Yeah, sometimes I see things where I'm like, oh, wow, how did they do that? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I have like that thing with the fan. There's this thing with the fan and the toilet paper. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that one.
Someone has like a ceiling fan and they put toilet paper on it and they dance like in it. It looks really cool.
Nice.
And like, that's a really creative thing. Yeah.
My favorite one that I've been seeing lately is some I don't know who created this, but basically like he's dancing and being really silly. And then like a freeze frame of his head comes in and it lands at exactly the moment where he ends up in that position. And then another one comes in and they connect with him. It's most bizarre editing thing, but it's like so creative and so engaging. And even though it's the dumbest dance and a guy just dancing in his bedroom, all of a sudden it's just really fun to watch. So I love seeing these kind of new creativity that's coming out of people just being stuck in their homes with nothing better to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I do find that like also like in terms of posting, you can pretty much post at any time. Like as before there was like times of peak engagement and whatever. I think now you can kind of just post and no one really cares.
Which platforms are you focusing on? Like what's your main?
My main thing is Instagram. I love Instagram. I don't really like Twitter. I mean, the thing is with Twitter is like even the tweet that went viral didn't go viral on Twitter. It went viral on everything else and not on Twitter.
Yeah, so I've been doing this series also with models before the pandemic started, where we were doing like photo shoots in person, interviews in person. And one of the big conversations that always came up is, what's your experience been with social media? Where are you finding success? And it's always invariably been Instagram. And everybody's like, Twitter, sometimes I'll post stuff there, but nobody understands it. So it was interesting for me to see a creative, having what appeared to be a huge amount of success on Twitter with this tweet. But then, like you said, it's only because other people saw the tweet and then shared it on other platforms. It was on Uprocks. It was on Reddit. I assume Facebook, people were posting it. You mentioned that Jennifer Aniston saw it.
Yeah, Jennifer Aniston liked it on Upworthy's Instagram.
Upworthy, that's the one.
This is too much. This was too much for me. I was like, I'm putting my phone down. I gotta go. Yeah. I really put my phone away and I was like, I'm watching Jumanji. I have to call it a night.
That's amazing. What a world we live in where it's like, we're all going through this experience together and all of a sudden you're somehow connected to people that you've been idolizing your whole life and they're consuming your content. Like, how cool is that?
I know. Yeah. Well, it's weird because I found that like the opposite is happening that usually happens is like celebrities aren't doing anything because they are realizing that they're like completely useless.
Right.
Essentially,
right.
Until, you know what I mean? Like they're not doing anything, but they're all singing. Every time you see a celebrity post something, it's like, here's a song. I'm like, I don't want to hear the song. Okay.
It's so funny.
Donate some money and call it a day. I can't watch this anymore.
Or the worst was when they all started making these videos from their beautiful mansions about, hey guys, you should just stay home, relax in your jacuzzi like me, like Arnold Schwarzenegger smoking his stogie, basically telling people just stay home. And everybody's like, of course we'd stay home if we had a freaking villa to live in with a jacuzzi and wait staff to like take care of us.
The other thing with celebrities is that what people don't realize is like celebrities stay at home like most of the time. Like they're quarantined for like most of their lives unless they're getting driven around to like shoots and interviews and things. Like they don't really leave their house that much. So for them, they're all going crazy, but they're actually just like, this is my life.
It's so funny.
Madonna posted that video. Did you see Madonna's video in the bathtub?
I didn't.
Madonna posted a video of her singing in a bathtub, like with rose petals. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, go home. Like, just stop.
It's amazing though that we get to witness this, people who we idolize and who used to only have this perfectly curated image of themselves put out and that's all you ever saw. And now we're seeing like Britney at home, going kind of crazy. We're seeing Madonna posting stuff that, in the past never would have seen the light of day. And now it's just like constantly being put out, and we're getting exposure to that. And in a way, it almost humanizes them, which I think is good, and also makes people, kids stuck at home with nothing better to do, they have these same platforms, and they're like, if Madonna can do that, I can do that. And now they're putting themselves out there in a way and being creative. And I feel like it's almost eliminating that barrier for entry and making people feel like they're part of the same creative spirit as their idols used to be. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. It feels good to create something. I mean, even if it's dumb, I think the thing is like, if something is not like egregious or racist or homophobic or sexist, just put it out there. Like, it doesn't matter. I think people get too precious over what they want to put out there. And it's like, nothing. The worst thing that could happen is that it gets one like. The best thing that can happen is that it goes viral and you get followers.
Yeah.
So unless it's something that's hateful, post it. I don't care. Who cares?
I think TikTok is doing a great job at encouraging people to just put stuff out there, because it's less about the perfect curated image of yourself in the way that Instagram is. In Instagram, you had the profile, and you can, go and look at somebody's past 9 posts, and everybody wanted to make sure that those last 9 posts were the best representation of themselves. Whereas with TikTok, nobody's really going through and checking out your history. They're just seeing whatever happens to come up in their feed. And so it just encourages people to continue to put stuff out, even if it's low quality content, because whatever, you swipe to the next one, or it gets likes and it goes viral and a ton of people see it. So everybody's chasing after that viral hit. But in order to do that, they're putting out a lot of crap, which honestly, that's the only way to be successful as a creative. You got to put a lot of crap on paper and then find the good stuff in the midst of it.
Right, exactly. That's the only way that I've found I found success with my videos and stuff, is like, I started putting things out there that like weren't as good, and I started like figuring out what people were responding to, what people found funny, and then just kept doing similar things and staying in that kind of vein. And that's building a brand, and that's comedy is what it is.
And that's what's so funny about comedy, is that people are used to seeing the big, comedy stars go and do their routines, and they're like, man, they're so good. They could just walk in anywhere and come up with jokes and like just be the hit of the room. And it's like, you don't understand how many hours of time they spent in front of audiences trying out jokes, learning how jokes land, learning how they have to cater them to different audiences, learning how, the delivery of the joke can be absolutely critical to it. And it's not just that they just happen to be perfectly thinking of these things on the spot. They're spending years developing this content and failing a lot along the way. How many times do you have to go out there and bomb in front of an audience and just not work that night? You know what I mean? So it's cool that social media is learning how to encourage that.
Yeah. Right. And I've been seeing a lot of stand-up comedians being like, I'm not doing virtual shows. I don't do content. Like, stand-up is my medium. And I'm like, okay, that's all fine and dandy. But like, if this goes on for a long time, which it might, you have to figure out a way to adapt to that.
Yeah.
And how do you bring your brand of funny into a different world? And that's kind of like, you got to do it. It is what it is. And
have you seen any other comedians that having some success with that transition at this time?
Yeah, several people people are definitely taking this time. A lot of people are taking the time to start doing content and like videos and putting their tweets out there and like seeing what happens. And so a lot of them are having like are putting out some really funny stuff.
That's awesome. That's awesome. From a financial perspective, so you were working on these shows, you're working as a freelancer, you already know how to kind of manage the ups and downs of freelance income. What is this, economic complete shutdown? How has that affected, your financial outlook? Do you see yourself being able to weather this out for a period of time? Are you, going to be applying for the federal stimulus stuff? Have you been paying attention to how do you think that that's going to affect you as a creative?
Well, as a freelancer, I think there's something in the New York City unemployment stimulus package that they're doing that can help me out in terms of that. Because it's not just like, well, have you been let go from a job recently? It's also like people that are freelancers can also apply for unemployment now. So I will have to apply for a lot of that stuff. The good thing is like I can still take meetings and stuff if I need to and write and submit stuff. But my financial situation is pretty much stalled at this point,
right?
Which kind of, it sucks. It is what it is. But I have been saving money. So I'm not like, it can't go on forever, but I'm not like terrified until like a couple of months, which is good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you've been able to
I'm
put
not
yourself
shitting
in
my pants just yet.
Right, right. No, I mean, people are all over the spectrum with this because, some creatives that have been, been able to figure out the ups and downs of independent contract work and have learned that you need to develop a certain amount of savings are able to weather this better than others. But so many creatives are in a situation where they're living paycheck to paycheck because they're trying to prioritize doing their art, which doesn't necessarily pay well, as well as doing gig work that, pays the bills, but they're never doing enough of it to build up a savings. And now all of a sudden that's just completely run dry. So I've been really trying to figure out how these, the federal stimulus as well as the state unemployment benefits are going to be able to help people. So I guess a lot of that still remains to be seen over the next few weeks, how that's going to materialize.
I mean, It really depends on how long it goes on for. And the other thing is I put out my half-hour special online and ask people to just either share or donate if they can to my Venmo. And awesome. I am literally so happy. Like I can't express like how many people like sent me money and sent me things on Venmo. It was insane. I am like literally, my heart was so warm. I was like, this is insane. Yeah, it was really insane. I put it out there as like a fluke because it was like, I was like, if you guys want to watch something during quarantine, I know we have nothing to do, watch this. And if you want, submit to my Venmo or share it on your page if you can, whatever. And like over 200 people sent me stuff. It was insane.
That's amazing. Where can people find that?
It was like, I was sobbing. I was like, this is insane. I can't. Yeah. It's on my Facebook page and it's on my IGTV as well.
Awesome. So you use IGTV as well. That's so cool. That's something, that's a platform I've been trying to use more. And I still haven't quite figured out what the right kind of content is for it. Because I've been doing these interviews with models, and I'm finding that interviews and long form content, it's just not the right platform for that. So I definitely want to check out your stuff and see what you're posting on there. That'll be cool.
It's kind of hard to put something on that's like long because it's like you're on your phone, and after a while you're gonna want to like get off the app, Right.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Has the virus affected anybody you know?
A few people, yeah.
Yeah. What's their experience been like?
I had a couple of friends that I went to high school with got affected.
Here in New York?
I'm in New York. In Brooklyn. They are doing, I have a lot of stand-up comedian friends that also got it too. They're doing okay. I think a lot of them had like a more mild case of it, but yeah, I mean, they were all pretty much like, it sucks. It's not fun. It's really bad. It's much worse than the flu. Like literally everyone, they were like, it's one of my friends had like a pretty mild case of it and was able to recover. And he was like, it's really bad. Like it's definitely worse than the flu. Yeah. He was like, be careful, like literally just stay home. Every single one of them posted something on social media and it ended with also stay home. Just stay the fuck home. Like that was everyone's like thing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It's hard to hammer that home.
Do you know anybody?
I don't. And I've been having a lot of people post on Facebook thinking that they may have had it, thinking that they might have had some of the symptoms before it really broke out. So there's been a lot of this like conspiracy talk where people are like, oh, this has been around a lot longer than people think. It's just that people didn't know that they had it. So I don't know.
That's a weird one. Someone on my Facebook did post that and I was like, no, but that was the flu. That was a different thing.
I think that people they're grasping at straws, and anything that might be kind of similar, they're going to just attribute to this. And it's in everybody's, the forefront of everybody's of thinking right now.
Just to be clear, like doctors, I've seen a lot of studies done and read some articles about it. And like doctors were like, this is not the same thing.
Right. Yeah. But people are trying to figure out how to deal with this, and it's a challenging time. I seem to be losing my voice. I last night I got this weird like deep cough, which sounded exactly like what people are describing. So I don't know, maybe I'm in the early stages of it. So I'm losing my voice at the same time though. Weird. Well, I'm not leaving the apartment, so I'm just going to stay here in quarantine. We'll see if this move on Sunday ended up exposing me, which, it seems entirely possible. Moving is not an easy thing to do and stay totally sanitary while you're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you get movers or how did you do it?
No, I didn't. I did it myself, and I actually ended up putting some stuff in storage, and there were these guys who were moving there, and they looked like, the kind of guys that you'd see in a bar at 4 a.m. who were just like desperate to make a couple extra bucks during this time, and they were wearing masks and coughing on each other, and I was just like, no. So it just seems like, right now, the kind of people you're going to be getting to do these odd jobs are people that are most down and out in society and are really not able to make rent and need to pick up a few extra bucks. So it's a tough situation for everybody. Just hoping it doesn't continue too long where, people are able to get back to work, the economy comes back, and especially for creatives, because so much of the money that we make lives on top of the money that needs to be spent. And it's like, if people don't feel comfortable, if people don't feel, like going out and enjoying themselves, creatives are going to be really in for a longer recovery than everyone else. So that's going to be a challenge. I'm trying to just have as many conversations with different people to try to figure out what the opportunities are going to be coming out the other side. It sounds like you're pretty set with your writing. Like that's going to continue. Entertainment is definitely going to pick up again.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is I will say that I think that the rollout for when things start up again is going to be in waves. It's not going to be I think a lot of people think it's going to be as easy as like, oh yeah, and then May 1st, everything's going to open, go ahead. But it'll probably be like waves, like probably like schools will open first and then this will open first, like restaurants will open at half capacity. Like comedy and theater and concerts are probably last on that list to open back up. And when they do, it'll probably be at like half capacity, which means that shows will be not as packed, not making as much money. And then it's going to be a really, really long time before like traditional concerts and stand up and performances really come back. So, I mean, that's.
So let's hope that this, this opportunity for creatives to really explore the social media opportunities maybe brings about new opportunities for people. Do you see any of that, developing into new opportunities for you, or is it more just, an additional way to put out content that hopefully brings back opportunities for you in the real world?
I think it's both. I think it's both. Stand up is really hard to do on like Zoom and like virtual things.
Right.
But I did a show last Saturday where instead of doing like traditional stand up, we did 4 people, or it was 5 of us. And we did like a roundtable discussion, and it was like a talk show style kind of show where we asked each other questions that were setups for bits. And so it was more of a conversation, but like still we got the bit out or the joke out. And and it worked really well because it wasn't like me talking into like the ether. It was more of a conversation and like a talk show. And so it felt really organic and fun. And I think that's a good way to like still do stand up.
That's awesome. What platform did you guys use for that?
We did Skype, and they live streamed it through something called Ecamm Live.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. And then live streamed out to like Instagram and Facebook?
The live stream got to YouTube.
To YouTube. Okay. That is so cool. Yeah. I hope that, on the one hand, we want this thing to end, but I hope that it goes on long enough that we start to see more of that, and people start developing those kinds of new ways of putting out content, and get good enough at them that they continue doing it after the economy comes back. Because I think that the technology is there, and we just haven't really been given a big enough push to utilize it to its full potential. And now we're starting to really see how are we going to be able to use this stuff, and how can we continue to use it after the real world comes back. So
yeah, no, it's really true. Honestly, if we just decide after this is over to just go back to the way things were, we are so stupid. We have to utilize a lot of the things that we've been using during this time to like help us in the future. Like 100%. Yeah, like we should all be working from home more if we can. Like there's no reason that things need to be, I don't know. We need to change a lot, and I hope that things do change after this for the better. But I don't know. I also do think that like after it is over, I do think that like a lot of live performances are going to be packed for like a little while.
I hope so. Yeah.
1 or 2 things are going to happen. Either one, people are going to be too scared to go, or people are going to be so hungry for live entertainment that things are just going to be packed.
You know what I think that's going to depend on is it's going to depend on how many people catch this virus, because if not enough people get the virus, it means that when we start going back to work, there's still going to be that susceptibility for a second wave. If enough people catch it and we get a herd immunity, there's going to be less of a fear to go out into public, because a large percentage of the population is going to be like, I've already got immunity, I've got the antibodies, I don't need to worry about going out in public. You know what I mean? So it's really going to depend on how many people catch this thing and how quickly we end up going back to work. So we will see. I'm just excited to see the creativity that's happening in this downtime. So I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me and keep doing what you're doing. You're inspiring people. No, I appreciate it. You're inspiring people. You're showing people how it can be done. So, keep doing what you're doing. And I really look forward to seeing, what kind of new things you discover in this downtime.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, you as well. Before we go, where can people find you online?
I'm at Constantly Gus on all platforms.
That's awesome. Nice and consistent. Well done. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys. If you have any more of these live shows that are happening, please send them my way. I'd love to promote them. I'd love to show my audience what people are doing to take advantage of this downtime.
Totally. I will. I'll send that to you.
Awesome. And when things open up again, let's catch a drink. I'd love to catch your stand-up.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. So the thing is I've been living with my boyfriend and he's sober. So I've been trying to keep all the alcohol out of the house because it's a stressful time and, with that. And so I haven't been drinking. And so I could use a glass of wine.
Same. I've been trying to not drink because it's so easy to get into just drink every night and then you wake up late. And, I feel like it really contributes to not being able to be at your best during this time. And there's so many challenges that we're facing that we really have to kind of find every way to make it as easy as possible for ourselves. So I've been trying to avoid that too. So definitely looking forward to coming back and going out for a drink and having a good night out. So definitely, let's catch up.
I do like that Seamless is ordering alcohol to people or delivering alcohol to people.
That's smart.
They are. And that's something that should definitely stay the same after this is over.
Indeed. I know. We live in New York City where we expect to have everything delivered to our front door. And,
I want it. Yeah, I could get a margarita delivered. Why not?
Amen. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'll see you later.
Yeah, be well. Thanks for checking out this video. If you found any of this useful, or if you have any further questions, please leave me a comment or send me a message on any of the social media channels listed below. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much.